What if you woke up one morning and the entire city around you was gone? No people, no voices, no smoke from kitchens, no footsteps on the streets. Just empty houses, untouched food on tables, and a silence so deep it felt louder than any scream. This is not a legend. This is not a myth. This is the story of a city that vanished in a single night and left behind a mystery the world still cannot explain. Long before maps were fully drawn and history was carefully recorded, there existed a city known by many names. Some ancient texts called it Aru-Kesh, meaning the city of flowing life. Others simply referred to it as the Golden Settlement. The city stood near a great river that nourished its people and land. From above, its layout was astonishingly precise. Straight roads intersecting at perfect angles, homes built with identical measurements, and an advanced drainage system that carried waste far beyond the city walls. Even by modern standards, the engineering was extraordinary. The people of Aru-Kesh lived in harmony. There were no signs of royal palaces or massive temples towering over the poor. Instead, homes were nearly equal in size, suggesting a society built on balance rather than power. Markets bustled with traders selling grains, copper tools, pottery, and fabrics dyed in deep reds and blues. Archaeologists who would later uncover the ruins were stunned by one thing above all else. There were no weapons of war, no swords, no shields, no mass graves. This was a peaceful civilization. Records carved into stone tablets described a people who believed the city itself was alive. They spoke of the river as a guardian and the earth as a listener. Every year, festivals were held to honor nature, thanking it for protection and prosperity. But prosperity often invites complacency. Over time, subtle changes began to appear. The river that once flowed gently near the city began shifting its course. The seasons grew unpredictable. Some years brought floods, others brought unbearable droughts. Crops failed, then recovered, then failed again. Still, the city endured. New wells were dug. Water channels were extended. The people adapted, just as they always had. Yet ancient writings from the final years speak of unease, of strange dreams shared by many citizens, of elders waking in the night claiming they heard whispers carried by the wind. One tablet, cracked and weathered, contains a haunting line. The ground remembers what the sky forgets. No one knows what it meant. On the evening before the city disappeared, everything seemed normal. Fires burned in hearths. Children played in the streets. Merchants closed their stalls as the sun dipped below the horizon. No alarms were raised. No warnings were given. And then night fell. No one knows exactly what happened after the stars appeared in the sky that night. There are no written records from within the city describing the event itself. What we know comes from fragments, stories passed down through nearby villages, strange physical evidence, and what was missing when explorers arrived centuries later. According to legend, shepherds camping miles away saw an unusual glow hovering above Aru-Kesh. It was not the flicker of fire, nor the flash of lightning. The light pulsed slowly as if breathing. Then the earth trembled, not violently. No buildings collapsed, no mountains cracked open, but enough to make the ground feel unstable beneath their feet. Animals panicked. Birds took flight into the darkness. By morning, the light was gone. When travelers eventually reached the city days later, they were met with something impossible. The gates were open. The streets were empty. Food still sat in clay bowls, untouched. Tools lay where they had been dropped. Half-woven fabrics remain on looms, abandoned mid-thread. There were no signs of struggle, no blood, no bodies. Thousands of people had vanished. Even more disturbing was what wasn't found. There were no signs of mass migration, no packed belongings, no organized departure routes, no traces of carts or animals leaving the city. It was as if the population had simply ceased to exist. Some explorers claimed the air inside the city felt different, heavier, colder. Others reported hearing faint echoes at night, like distant footsteps or murmured voices, though no one could ever trace their source. Centuries later, when modern archaeologists excavated the site, they confirmed the mystery only deepened. The skeletons found matched normal death rates, nothing suggesting a sudden catastrophe. There was no evidence of fire, invasion, or epidemic. One researcher famously said, "This city didn't die. It was abandoned in a way history has never seen." But why and how? Over the years, scholars and scientists have proposed many explanations, but none fully answer every question. Theory 1. Environmental collapse. Some believe the river finally shifted beyond recovery, forcing a sudden evacuation. But this theory fails to explain why people left behind everything, including food and valuables. No civilization abandoned survival supplies willingly. Theory 2. A silent disaster. Could there have been a toxic gas released from the earth? Something invisible and lethal? Possibly. But again, where are the bodies? Theory 3. Psychological exodus. A few researchers suggest mass hysteria triggered by natural events, earthquakes, strange lights, or celestial phenomena. A shared fear so powerful that the entire city fled at once. Yet even fear does not erase footprints. Theory 4. The Forbidden One. This is a theory few academics speak of openly. Ancient tablets recovered near the city center describe watchers from above and paths that open when the sky bends. Some interpret these as metaphors. Others believe the city may have encountered something beyond human understanding, something that didn't destroy, but removed. Even today, locals refuse to stay near the ruins after sunset. They claim the silence feels unnatural and compasses malfunction without explanation. Some say if you listen carefully at night, you can hear water flowing, despite the river being miles away. Was Aru-Kesh a victim of nature, human fear, or something far more mysterious? The truth is, we don't know, and perhaps we were never meant to. The city still stands in ruins, empty, silent, unanswered. So now the question is for you. What do you think happened that night? A forgotten disaster? Or the greatest mystery humanity has ever buried? Speech balloons, share your theory in the comments. Globe showing Europe, Africa, this is Global Mysteries, where history refuses to stay silent.